So you want to start playing RuneScape, but you're broke and you can't afford $14 per month membership and you're too old to steal your mom's credit card. The good news is you don't have a job, so you've got 16 hours a day to play RuneScape. What do? This is what I would do. Start your own personal gold farm to feed one account's progression. You're not just going to make one account, you're going to make 4 accounts. And this is going to save you hundreds of hours because we need to get out of free-to-play as fast as possible. And membership bonds aren't cheap, they're 15 mil GP each. And free-to-play moneymakers are like 100 to 200k GP per hour, which would take 80 to 100 hours with one account. 4 accounts is like just manageable enough, I'd say, from doing Tutorial Island. At first I was going to use 6, but there's just a huge efficiency drop off of trying to play all of them at once. 4 is plenty sweaty, and remember, you're kind of playing RuneScape for fun, so if you're getting friction burns on your palm from playing 9 accounts at once, that's gonna happen with 4 accounts too. So first we need some starting GP. Cowhides are 250 GP each, so I picked up a few inventories, partly from killing the cows and partly from just looting other people's kills. I would recommend spreading the accounts over 4 different worlds and then banking in Lumbridge. And then we're gonna head over to the GE, and when I tried to trade over the cowhides, I remembered there are sophisticated anti-bot trade restrictions in free-to-play, no trading at all until 100 total level, 20 hours played, and 10 quest points. So I tried to sell the cowhides on the GE, and that's when I remembered specific items are blocked from being sold, including cowhides, to prevent botting until you pass the trade restrictions. And that's why cowhides are such a good moneymaker right now. That's okay, normal logs are not on the no sell list, even though oak logs are. Which means there's no AFK chopping, we're just gonna chop a lot of normal logs on 4 accounts at once. They're about 80 GP each, which is pretty decent. I would also recommend cutting logs within the GE. There are no bots there. There are lots right outside of the GE. And a huge pro tip, I usually play in fixed classic mode, but switch to resizable and hide your chat box. It makes your visibility way better when you're playing on 4 accounts. 400 logs later on each account, by the way, so 1,600 regular logs total. And I have enough starting GP for what is going to be a bit of a grind, but that's RuneScape. Our next step is to get 6 crafting. Crafting leather is too expensive, so we're going to spin balls of wool for 2.5 crafting XP each in Lumbridge. It's not fast, but it's cheap, honest labor. And hey, this is the beginning of free-to-play. We'll take whatever we can get. At 6 crafting, we can go back to the GE and buy gold bars and head over to the Edgeville Furnace to craft gold jewelry. This is already 98k GP per hour. It's almost 400k GP per hour across our mini clan here. And that's in free to play right after we begin our journey. So I'm pretty happy. We're making 400k GP per hour in free to play right off the bat. So the logs got us 40k GP. And when we sell the first round of gold necklaces, we now have around 75k on each account. And we're already almost 20 crafting for sapphire jewelry, which will immediately be 200k GP per hour per account. This is going to be the moneymaker that breaks us out of free-to-play. Well, crafting whichever jewelry is best GP per hour is once we unlock it. We'll probably switch to emerald, ruby, or diamond jewelry when we have the levels, depending on what is best GP per hour. With 4 accounts, we can usually max out around 1 mil GP per hour, depending on GE prices, but no less than 800k GP per hour. And in free-to-play, I would say that that is very, very good. Sapphire prices were lower than normal, so we just went straight to emerald from gold at 27 crafting, which is 220k GP per hour. We are currently making 880k GP per hour. Okay, an hour later, and each account has 300k GP. I'm now going to keep the gold farm going on 3 accounts, but on my main account, we're going to do other stuff. This account is going to be the first member, so we have to make sure it's ready. And while I do that, watch this. I've been leveling up my main RuneScape account recently, mining crash stars, and while I'm doing that, I've been learning to code with the sponsor of today's video, boot.dev. So, while you're AFK skilling in RuneScape, why not learn one of the most valuable skill sets in the workforce, computer science? Better yet, learn it in a way that is more enjoyable than alternatives, meaning you'll make way more progress in the long run. Boot.dev takes you through gamified lessons and forces you to build real projects with lessons in Python, SQL, Go, JavaScript, and more. You gain XP as you code and level up. And Boot.dev just launched the Training Grounds, which literally generates you infinite tailored coding challenges and projects to give you as much practice as you need. This makes learning incredibly customizable. Here I prompted the lesson to be me coding an extremely basic version of old school RuneScape, and the Training Ground will take me through that exercise. Boot.dev has a 30-day no questions asked refund policy, so use the link in my description and code sirpugger to get 25% off your first payment for Boot.dev. Thanks to Boot.dev for sponsoring this video. So let's get my main ready for membership. The main goal right now is to train range so that we can do high GP per hour activities once we all remember and actually take advantage of that. Picked up 22 range at cows, 40 ranged at barbarians. This is a very nostalgic spot for me. I used to train ranged here in free to play a lot when I was building pures. Corsair Curse complete to unlock safe spotting Ogress Shamans, and we've gone from 40 to 50 ranged at Ogress Shamans, but the XP per hour here is so bad at this low range level. So we're moving to Moss Giants, which are not terrible loot, but way better ranged XP. I also did Romeo and Juliet and Goblin Diplomacy one at a time on each account for the 10 quest point requirement to be able to trade. I know I could just kill each account in the wilderness, but I might as well not try to get around it and actually just get the restriction requirements. There's 66 ranged. I think we're just about ready. It's safe to say it's been a little while. My crafters are level 81 to 82 crafting, which is actually insane. I've never trained a stat that high in free-to-play. I always buy membership. I think I hit the 15 million GP mark, so let's consolidate all the gold onto one account. I can also trade now because all the accounts have the requirements to trade from the 10 quest points, 100 total level, and it's definitely been over 20 hours. And we do have 15 mil. First bond acquired. How long did it take? A bit over 35 hours, but nowhere near the 80 to 100 hours it would have taken from one account alone. And we're not stopping at one member. I can't leave my crafters behind in free-to-play. So we're going to start printing GP at Revenants. Even at 66 ranged, we should make like 800k GP per hour here if we aren't lucky. The other 3 accounts in total make a little over 600k GP per hour. So 1.4 mil per hour across all the accounts. It should take around 12 hours to get the next bond, down from 35 hours for the first one. Now, I wish something more interesting happened over the next 13 hours, but the only unique drop I got from Revs was an ancient crystal worth 150k. And I'm guessing y'all have had enough Edgeville Furnace crafting content for a few months. The crafters are now 85 crafting, and I got around 500k GP per hour at Revs because I wasn't skulled and didn't get any nice drops. I did hit 73 ranged though. Second bond has been acquired, and we're just under 50 hours in. With each bond now, my life gets so much easier. We are not going to do Revenants on 2 accounts at once. Instead, when the crafters get bonded up, they're going to be enchanting Sapphire Rings into Rings of Recoil. Enchanting Sapphire Rings is 170k better GP per hour than our best free-to-play method of crafting Diamond Jewelry. It's 400k GP per hour at current prices, whereas Diamond Jewelry is 230k. That is not a ton better, it's a bit better. Is it even worth the bond? In terms of GP production, barely. The difference of 170k GP more per hour, but with the additional cost of the bond, means we need to play 85 hours within a 14-day period on this account to start benefiting from the additional GP per hour, instead of just staying in free-to-play. I hope that made sense. But what does make a huge difference is this moneymaker is considerably more AFK than crafting Diamond Jewelry. Each inventory takes 90 seconds to process instead of 20 seconds for the jewelry. That is like night and day. It's 4 times more AFK, and when you're playing on 4 accounts at once, the more AFK, the better. So with 2 diamond necklace crafters generating 450k GP per hour, the Sapphire Ring Enchanter making 400k GP per hour, and the Revenant Killer making 700k to 1 mil GP per hour, we should be up to 1.5 to 2 mil GP per hour, so the next bond should take 7 to 10 hours instead of 13 hours. I started sculling up at the Emblem Trader in Edgeville. I don't have enough attention to give the Rev Killer, to use an Amulet of Avarice still, that's too much risk, but I did switch to Pyrofiends from Hobgoblins. And I think it paid off. I got a couple 1 mil emblem drops, and the thought of getting the 16 mil emblem drop is crazy. It's literally like getting a bond dropped. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And unless I get an interesting drop from Revenants, there's just not much to show y'all. Unless you love the crafting content. But due to the extra emblem drops and better GP per hour at Revs, the grind was relatively short, less than 9 hours. It keeps getting faster and faster. So, third bond acquired. And now we have 2 Sapphire Ring Enchanters, a Rev Killer, and only 1 free-to-play account left crafting diamond necklaces. Things are starting to feel a little more AFK. I did pick up another 2 1 mil emblem drops, and it took me a little bit less than 7 hours to get the final bond, down from 9 hours the previous bond took. So after selling all of the Rev loot, we now have enough GP for our 4th and final account to join the farm in members. About 28 mil out of the 56 mil spent on the 4 bonds, so literally 50%, came from the Revenant Killer. And the Revenant Killer was only killing Revenants for a total of roughly 50% of the time. So I ended up averaging around 800k GP per hour on the Rev Killer. We are bonding up the final account. That should make us 4 member accounts. That is incredible. Now we have 3 Sapphire Ring Enchanters generating 1.2 million GP per hour total. And since it's so AFK now, like it takes me around 10 seconds to reset all 3 enchanters, which means I have 80 out of 90 seconds to just play on my main. So since it's so AFK, I feel like I can properly avoid PKers on the main account now, so I invested in an Amulet of Avarice and am able to kill Revenant Demons now. This is probably closer to 1.5 to 2 million GP per hour. Increased drop rate, better damage, I have a higher range level, you name it. But to make the math easy, let's assume it's 1.8 mil per hour now, including rare drops, which means I'm averaging a total of 3 million GP per hour now. At 10 hours of playtime per day, it only takes me 2 days to bond up every account, leaving the other 12 days for pure gains. Of course, I can use those other 12 days to level up the ults and get them to do even better GP per hour methods. This challenge is meant to showcase how to get out of free-to-play in a very repeatable way and to start a great AFK gold farm while you work on your main. There's no weird moneymakers that only work if no one else knows about them. You don't even have to pay for membership if you follow these steps. Well, I can't say I'm gonna miss this challenge, but let's go over the final stats of each account. So let's start with the Ranger, 77 range. That's a pretty good start. Also a few other stats, but nothing else worth noting, maybe the 48 crafting. Now let's move over to the first members crafter in the upper left-hand corner. We've got 61 magic just from enchanting sapphire rings, 84 crafting. The second bonded up crafter got 87 crafting and 51 magic. And the third bonded up crafter, who I just bonded up, had 89 crafting, 5 million crafting XP in free to play, and 19 magic. So without spending any real money, we now have 4 member accounts and the ability to pay for membership for all of them, plus feed money into the main account now. If this video gets 10,000 likes, I'll continue the series. Actually, yeah, just please don't like the video. I don't want to do this again.